Hey everyone, Sean here from the Commander's Brew. This is the Lost Cards. Instead of going deep on one deck tech, we kind of give you a few ideas for a few different ones. This week it's Florian Voldaren Scion from Midnight Hunt. If you didn't see our main deck tech, check it out. It's kind of a Florida Man chaos thing. You gotta see it to understand it. This week's something different though.
All right, here we go. It's Lost Cards. It's Florian Voldaren Scion. And if you caught the original episode this week for this one, it was wild. We're in the wild hunt. Well, this was truly a wild deck. Absolutely chaotic in a way I've never seen. It's just like truly it's true what John just said in the intro there. You have to see it to like understand what we're talking about. So go back and check that one out because it was fun and we had a good laugh. And it's a weird, wild deck. But Lost Cards were all about finding some different avenues, some different styles, some different brews. So what are we looking at?
So whenever we do a deep deck tech, we rarely pick kind of the first idea. So that first idea makes for a great first Lost Cards. And so the way I think we would want to use Florian, we want Florian to be alive in the second main so that we can get, so we can't kill Florian early. Otherwise we don't get to look through a bunch of cards. So I would love something like Rolling Earthquake maybe. To deal damage to each creature without horsemanship, which means each creature and each player. But if Florian is wearing something like Kaya's Ghost form, it's a single black enchantment, and when the enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, you return it to the battlefield. So this Earthquake's going to clear the board and do tons of damage to our opponents, and then Kaya's going to bring Florian back. And we're going to want to save 1 or 2 mana and hope that while we're digging through 10, 15, 20 cards, we're going to find another effect like an aura that we can put on Florian so that we can survive the next turn where we do this. The real unfortunate thing is that instinctively, I expect to be able to cast this card next turn until my next turn, but that's not true. So you can't spend all your mana this turn and then dig deep, because then you've got nothing else to, you might as well just pick a land and play that land.
Yeah, that's the thing. Florian does only deal with the exile cards have to be played that turn. I mean, it's a trade-off, right? Because it's kind of easy to get them if you're attacking and that sort of thing. So it's like you're not having to pay. You don't necessarily have to pay mana to make
right
to see the cards. So I get why they did that.
We're really incentivized to attack to get those triggers, and like, yeah, that's the main thing. I know that like I love I guess I didn't highlight the card, but the other way to really get the most out of Florian is like an instant speed reanimate maybe. We can get him back out of the graveyard that way. Again, we can't dig for them. This is the trouble. You're really a bit handcuffed that way.
This is an interesting take. It's labeled here as a different kind of chaos, with only the mini game type of cards. Now, do you mean a different type of chaos, as in the more traditional sort of Magic style chaos that we see in Commander, or did you mean like just using the mini game types of cards within the chaotic Florida Man deck from?
No, I mean you certainly could do that, but I was just looking like there's a lot of fun stuff about losing life that are involved in mini games, and when Florian's out, those mini games get a little extra interesting because your opponents really don't want to lose, not only because of the life, but also because then you get to dig through more cards. So like, classic. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say like Pain's Reward is one that you have here, but it came to my mind right away. It's the one where you're bidding life back and forth, and then basically if you bid the most life and it stops when they've decided that they don't want to bid anymore, they lose life and then they draw 4 cards. It is only 4, which is interesting. I wonder if a card was like draw like half the amount of cards as life, so you'd have to bid 8 life to get 4 cards, but then you can go up to like wild numbers like 16, 24, draw 12 cards. Like,
Ooh, that's an interesting design. I'd like to see that card.
Yeah, I'd like to see that card. I wonder if that would be too much for Commander. But anyways, but Pain's Reward's a good one there for that. I've also got Profane Transfusion here, which this is the this is the one. What's this from? It's from recent
Battle
set.
Bond? No, Commander Legends.
Commander Legends. That's it. It's 9 mana. 9 mana sorcery where you exchange life totals. two target players rather. Sorry, exchange life totals. You create an XX colorless horror artifact creature token where X is the difference. So obviously, yeah, if we're doing a lot of stuff that's going to lower our life total, and we do take advantage of this like switching life total thing, it's going to be a great one to do.
Oh yeah, I love the mini games with this backup, or like if Bolus's Citadel's there, it's like sure, give me. I mean, hitting this with Bolus's Citadel is the best.
Yeah, that's wild. Because you're gonna have such a low life total, and like you're gonna make a artifact creature token that's like I don't know, like a 35/35 or something. You know?
Maybe,
like,
yeah.
Wild stuff.
Yeah. One more lost cards to throw at you. Tough commander to brew around. A little bit restrictive, but you'll notice this is a 3 mana commander, which is odd. So Obosh is a valid companion. As long as we only have odd cards in the deck, we can have Obosh in our companion zone and then bring him out, and all of our stuff is doing double damage. So now, like single mana lightning bolts, let us dig 6 cards deeper. In addition to any combat damage we may do as well, like just single bits here or there become 2. I think that's a fun brew too. I think if I was to brew this seriously, unlike the Florida Man version for a main deck tech, might be the route I would go.
This is a very interesting route to me because you lean on the dealing damage, obviously, and Obosh, incredible with that. But then you've got this restriction where you can only use the odd mana costs. But how fun is that to find the right odd mana cost that fit into this like kind of generic deck of like, oh yeah, well, we want to do damage. Like, well, now we got to find the right stuff for it. So that's a nice little combo, Obosh and Florian. I think that there's one way you could take kind of almost either of the Earthquake version or the, honestly, maybe even any of these, is digging for something specific, right? Like we've got, like we've all kind of focused on like what works with Florian to do the digging, but always like, what if you had something specific you were digging for, and you're getting like a graveyard combo or some kind of thing that's going to really pop off all your creatures. Like, I mean, Obosh is like a great thing to have, but what if it's like one of those real crazy? What's the 6 mana damage tripler that they have in red, right? Like
Fiery Emancipation? What about this? Would this work? There are numerous 2 and 3 mana red spells that say destroy a land and look for a land and put a land back into play. And landfall decks trigger themselves, like hit themselves to get more landfall triggers. Could we get like Morag going, and so that we're putting more lands in via those effects and getting more and more combat steps, doing more damage? Now we dig even. I guess we don't have another post-combat main phase. It doesn't say during each post-combat, does it? It says at the beginning of your post-combat main phase. Would that count all post-combat main phases? I think it would.
Yeah, I think it would.
So yeah, okay. So if we can get. And now I forget the nuances of Morag.
Yeah,
if you actually get another main phase.
No, Morag doesn't give you another main phase. That's the thing. He just gives you additional combat.
Okay.
There's no additional. It's not like a full other house. Yeah. There's some cards that do that.
Well, because then I want to dig for ritual cards that give me mana to play more extra combat cards. I think that's there's something in there.
Yeah. There's definitely something in there where you can take advantage of the fact that it is at the beginning of that second main or something. But yeah, definitely just even just having an eye on something you want to do, like we said, what's something, if it is Morag or if it's, Fiery Emancipation, that would be cool as well. Neat. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
hey, they're branching out with Rakdos. We're getting a lot of different styles these days. We're getting a lot of different
I
stuff.
love
It's
it.
all good. I like it too. Within the color pie makes sense, but stuff that you're not totally used to seeing. So I'm into it. I think it's a fun commander, and I think you really have to go listen to the Florida Man episode because it is truly chaotic.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So yeah, check that out. Check out next week when we come back with a brand new deck tech as well and a brand new Lost Cards. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCG Player affiliate link below.
That helps us out too, and for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.